Hello everyone, it is Mike here and welcome to another tournament. We got a great one here for you, Plum versus Christopher. Let's go. 15 versus 15, part 7. So it's going to be a great one here. Both teams are really neat. I love on Plum's team, he's got both Pennywises. So that's pretty crazy. So it is going to be Plum versus Christopher. And it is definitely going to be a great one. And we got LeBron here, kicking things off. What a number 1. And I don't know how many more years he's got in him. I don't know how many more years. I know he's, at the time I'm doing this, he's having I think he's in the series with the Nuggets right now. I think they're losing right now, but I'm not for sure. But yeah, how many more years does he have left? I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. He's becoming another Brady. Just never wants to give it up. And we'll see who's number 2 here, and it is Scorpion. Scorpion coming in at number 2. So LeBron versus Scorpion. Why not? And as they're eliminated, I will tell you what team they're a part of. And wow, LeBron did a backflip. That's funny. And this is going to be a great matchup between these two. And look at LeBron with the kick. And Norm is number 3. From Cheers. Also created by Lucas, who did a great job with that one. Look at Norm. Oh my goodness, he tried to high fly. He almost put his knees out. He almost needed a knee replacement after that. That was terrible. And I think he needs to stick to not flying. He's a big guy. And number 4 is Tokyo Ghoul. And LeBron tried to fly, and that was miserable as well. Quit trying to fly. If you're not a light heavyweight or cruiserweight, quit trying to fly. You're just going to make an embarrassment out of yourself. And Scorpion in trouble. Oh, Tokyo Ghoul with a nice flip and kick. And Walter White's number 5. So from Breaking Bad. Yeah, both teams have some really interesting people. Especially Team Plum has some really interesting people as well. But it's going to be great seeing these two teams collide, and we'll see who wins. And LeBron going after Scorpion. And we got Nacho Libre. I was never a fan of that movie, but, you know, he's always on here. So he's just another slot for me, another person to get. And I'm not a big fan of that movie, but, you know, I'm always going to have him on here because they're always going to make him because he's like a luchador on that. I guess he is. I forget the whole backstory behind him. It's been a while since I've seen it. I've only seen that movie once. A lot of people like it, though. It's just not for me. And we got Bugs Bunny coming in next. Scorpion and LeBron, that's a good matchup. And there goes Nacho. So Nacho is not Libre, he is leaving. That is what he's doing. And that's going to be a loss for Plum. And the Bunny may be joining. And we got One Punch Man. People always bring up the whole time he flipped me off. Yeah, I know. People bring that up all the time. It was funny. And where did it get him? Didn't get him to WrestleMania. I'll tell you that right now. And that is a loss for Christopher. We still have a lot of that, the camera just flashing and all that going on, and that kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Tokyo Ghoul's done, so he is finished. That is going to be a loss for Plum. And Slender's number 9. And he can do some damage. So do not underestimate him. And Walt's in trouble. Still in it. And Krillin's 10. So Krillin's 10. And there goes Scorpion. So Scorpion's finished. That's going to be a loss for Christopher. And Homelander's number 11. So this has been a crazy matchup. And there goes Slender. So that's kind of disappointing. I thought he would do a lot better than he did. But, yeah, that's a loss for Plum. I'm not a big Krillin fan. I never have been. I just think he's pathetic. Raiden is 12, and the best part of Krillin is when Frieza killed him. That was the best part. That was a great kill. That was an awesome kill by Frieza. Raiden's trying to hang on there. And Dark Sub-Zero's number 13. Love Sub-Zero. Just a great character. And Dark version is probably even better. And Walt is done, so that's going to be a loss for Christopher. So far, it's been pretty even. It's been pretty even. I'm trying to keep track of everyone in. But it's been very competitive. And LeBron and Raiden are finished. So, let's see where who all loses there. Both for Christopher. So 2 losses there for Christopher. Homelander, that's going to be another loss for Christopher. And Norm is finished. And that's going to be a loss for Plum. So this has been great. Just fantastic here. And Boss is number 14. One of the. Do you know the definition of insanity? Yeah. There you go. He's the definition. Voss is amazing. Amazing Far Cry villain. Probably one of the best Far Cry villains. Probably is the best. Some people like Pagan Men. Pagan Men's pretty awesome. I like Voss. I think Voss is, Michael Mando with that voice acting, just killer. And Krillin is done. So it is going to be a loss for... Oh, Plum. You got Tyson in the house. Cannot wait to see Tyson versus Jake Paul. That's going to be crazy. Hopefully Jake Paul gets knocked out. If the only thing that I can think of better is Tyson, KO, and Jake Paul and Logan. That would be even better. Because Tyson's a beast. And, I always root for Tyson. And the Hamburglar is number 16. Yeah. He was kind of a last-minute decision. Because really nobody cares. And Voss, oh my goodness, Voss is just destroying everyone in his path. And number 17 is Raphael. I had to go and look to see who that was, because at first I thought it was Wreck-It. And then I realized they just shortened Raphael, which is probably the smart thing to do. I don't know. I think Ralph is pretty... Raphael sounds a lot better than Ralph. So maybe that, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they wanted it to be easier for people to find, and maybe some people that would search for it wouldn't know how to spell it. So maybe that's the easiest way to do it. And Mr. T, I Pity the Fool, is number 18. Loved him in Rocky 3. Not a big A-Team fan. A-Team's... Yeah, it's not my favorite. I like him in Rocky, though. I forget what... I can't think of the character's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of it. And number 19 is Stryker. So Stryker in the house. I hate how he spells his name. I tried to, when I searched it, I spelled it right. He spells it wrong. I spell it right. Yeah, Stryker's pretty cool. I mean, he's not my favorite Mortal Kombat, but he's got some cool things about him. I think he uses a lot of grenades and, has some cool moves, but not the biggest fan. He's kind of like Sonya. Not a big Sonya fan either. And there goes one punch. And that's going to be a loss for Plum. And Tyson cannot defeat Sub. And Sub turned his back. And he may join Tyson. Maybe not. Voss doesn't have enough strength in him. And Tyson is going to be a loss for... Christopher. So it's pretty close still. between the two teams. And we still have a little ways to go. And Ralph, after T here, and we got Nightmare Freddy coming in, a very famous one here. Oh man, and that poor Raphael got hit in the T-bone. And, there goes I Pity the Fool and the Burglar are both finished. And that's a loss for both teams. So, loss for both teams there. I think Christopher now has lost 2 more. But it's still close. Still close. We lost Stryker there. I spelled Stryker right. And there goes Freddy. Wow, that was disappointing. I thought Freddy would have a better shot at this, but apparently not, and that's a loss for Plum. Big loss, too. I thought he would do good. And Voss is trying to hang on here. Yeah, Voss is iconic. He's in my top 10 evilest video game characters for sure. I don't know who would be. Well, Shepard is pretty bad. I'd have to sit there and think about some of the best ones. That would be a good list to make. Like the best video game villains. Who would be in that conversation? I mean, Shepard would be in there. Voss would be in there. I'm trying to think of any. Makarov, of course. I'm not a big fan of the Halo villain. The Prophet. I think he's lame. I think his minions, the classes on the Covenant are awesome. The Army class, I think it's very creative. I think it's awesome. But the Prophet as a villain, he's pretty lame. You know, he's more of like a philosopher, just giving orders to all the minions to do his dirty bidding. I think some of the villains on Halo Infinite, some of the brutes on there are more deadlier than he is. And trust me, I know firsthand. I had to deal with them. And they were terrible. They were terrible to deal with. And Pinhead's 23. I still need to watch some of the Hellraiser movies, and maybe it's a good thing I haven't yet. I've seen up to Inferno. Inferno's the last one that I did watch, and it was good. I like Inferno. I hated Bloodline. Bloodline was number 4. 3's okay, and number 1 and 2 are good. But past Inferno I haven't seen, and I've heard terrible things. I've been warned not to watch those movies. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do it in Halloween time because they're easy to watch because they're all like an hour and 20. But I've been told to stay away from Revelations. People have said that's like the worst movie ever made. It's in the conversation for worst movie literally ever made. Not just horror movie of all time ever made. It's in the conversation. And we got The Mummy, 25. One of my least favorite Universal movies. And look at the double team. He would break his hand. You already know it. He'd break his hand if he hit that metal. You can't chop Samus or Samos or whatever her name is. You can't do chops. Especially if you're a mummy and you're all decayed. He'd break his hand off. Look at Yoda here. Yoda's crushing. Just flying around. I love how Yoda just flies around. He's crazy. I mean, I remember the first time I saw him in a lightsaber battle. It was on a Attack of the Clones, where he fights Count Dooku. And that was crazy. That's a crazy scene. That's a crazy fight. And, of course, he fights the Emperor in the Revenge of the Sith. But some people don't like the prequels. I love them. I grew up on the prequels. So I'm not saying that they're better than the original. I'm just saying that I grew up on that stuff. Phantom Menace, I love. Attack of the Clones is just average. But Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith, I love those movies. And Yoda's just hanging there. I don't know what he's doing. And there goes Pinhead. So Pinhead's finished. Sub got him. And got him good. That's a loss for Plum. So it's going the other way around now. But it's still too close to call. We got Mr. Soprano here. And he's going to take out Dark Sub-Zero. And that's going to be a loss for Christopher. And Yoda going after Ralph here. Raphael. Man, I'm noticing a lot of screen stuff tonight, and it's not on me. It's actually not on me. And it does that all the time. Just on these though, man. I mean, it does it on the other ones a little bit, but not as bad as this for some reason. And there goes Tony. So Tony's finished. It's going to be a loss for Plum. He is down to 5 now. And we got Kick-Ass. Great movie. Love that movie. I love part 2. I've told you many times the story about part 2 in college. That will be always an iconic moment for me. The whole story behind that, and how we got one of the greatest laughs of all time, because there was if I haven't told you yet, I'll go ahead and give you a short summary. So basically in the movie, when we went to college and stuff, Ralph's going to be a loss for Christopher. So when we went to college, they would have movies early before they came out on disc and stuff, but they had to, for some reason, put the school's name in the movie, somewhere in the movie, and to know that it belonged to them. I don't know the full backstory behind that. And it may take me a little bit to think about that, but anyway, there's a death scene in the movie that includes a lawnmower going through a windshield, and when that lawnmower goes through the windshield, our school's logo pops up as these guys are getting blood's shooting everywhere, and our school's logo pops up. And you talk about a laugh. Though everyone in that room was crying of tears. They were crying of tears. Definitely a great moment. And that movie was just so inappropriate anyway, but that moment right there was just killer. It was amazing, and I want to go back and watch that movie. I thought I had both of them on Blu-ray, but I need to see if I do. I may just have number 1, but I'm telling you, you had to be there. It's just hard to explain it, and we're going to get both Pennywises here now. But it's just one of those moments where it was perfect timing. Just imagine 2 people in the movie. They're dying and blood's going everywhere, and then our school's logo hits the screen, and it was hilarious. You know, it's terrible, but it was hilarious. And everyone in that room busted out in laughter. I mean, everyone was crying. Literally tears coming out of our face from that scene. It's hilarious. And you just had to be there, and you can't duplicate it because, like I said, only our school's copy would have that in there. But Yoda has been eliminated. And that's going to be a loss for Christopher. So we're getting down to the end. It's really close. It's actually really close here. Plum, I believe, has 5. And I believe Christopher has 4 left. And Pennywise eliminates Voss. That's going to be a loss for Christopher, so he's down to 3. And the Mummy's been looking good. Metroid's been looking good. We'll see how far they can go. And they've been doing pretty good. Let's see who oh, Ivar just got in here, didn't he? He shouldn't even be able to fight because he has to, yeah. He just got eliminated, so that's a loss for Plum. According to this, he has 4 left. And Ermac is number 30. So, I missed Ralph. Well, no, I just didn't mark it. So Christopher's down to 2, actually. He's got Ermac, which, so much for Ermac. So all Christopher has left is the Mummy. That's all he's got left. And this does not look good. It wasn't that bad when it comes to whether it was even or not, but Plum's got both Pennywises. He's got Metroid or Samus or whatever her name is, and Kick-Ass. And that's all he's got. So it's 4-1. So Christopher, it's all down to the Mummy to help him out. And the Mummy's been doing good, actually. And I actually gave him the Undertaker moveset, so we'll see what happens, because he had 75. We'll see what happens. The odds are not in his favor. He's been in here for a while also. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. We got both Pennywises, so there's about a 40% chance they're going to win. And a good counter there. And look at the Pennywises. Oh my goodness, could we see Pennywise eliminate Pennywise? That would be crazy. If there's a golden opportunity to get rid of a dangerous opponent, nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention there. And the Mummy's in trouble. Mummy in trouble here. Hanging on. He's hanging on. And what a hit. Pennywise still in it. Telling you, both of them are doing really good here. And there goes one of them. So one of them's done. We're down to 4 now. And Christopher still has the Mummy. That's all he's got, though. That's all he's got. Look at the double team on Tim Curry's Pennywise. What is Kick-Ass planning here? Oh, man, what a drop there. And Mummy in trouble, and Mummy is done. So Team Christopher has been eliminated from the tournament. So near the end there, you know, and we're down to 2. But near the end there, it was all about, you know, it really didn't go in his favor in the end. But it was even up till then. But then it just went ballistic, and yeah. And Kick-Ass wins. So congratulations to him. Very great movie, and he finally wins one. He was number 26. So you already know it. He better not do it. He better not do it. He's acting like it's the biggest victory of his life. But it does not matter because he's not going to WrestleMania. There's no way. No way he's going. 5 stars. I don't care. I don't care. Everyone put in the effort to get that 5 stars. So don't say the greatest of all time. You're overselling this. You're overselling this. But anyway, Christopher's been eliminated. This one actually, you know, lasted a little bit longer than some of the other ones have. Plum will advance to the Elite 8. And really just looking at this, you know, there really wasn't a lot of standouts. We did have the Mummy survive a little bit. And I gave the Mummy Undertaker moves because it's, you know, dead man. You get it? Kind of silly, but in the end, it didn't matter because Team Plum really came through. It started off pretty even and went back and forth. Plum usually was ahead, but I think there was one time where it switched a little bit, but in the end, it went totally in his favor. But I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, as usual. It was a lot of fun, and we're almost to the final one until we reach the Elite 8. We still got a lot more to go. So I wonder who's going to win this thing. But I've been impressed by some teams, but nobody has been consistent for me. And this year it's hard to be consistent with all the, you know, when it's easy to get taken out now. It used to not be as easy, but now it is. So even the big guys, no one's really consistent team-wise. So we'll see what happens. And I will see you all later.